Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. I appreciate y'all for checking with me. I already know what it is. We back with another one of them things. Listen, I want to talk to you involving the New York Knicks right now. It's paramount. Listen, the New York Knicks is just spectacular right now. Who the hell would have thought something like this would have even occurred, that the New York Knicks would be up 2-0, on the Boston Celtics? I don't think anybody in their right mind could have predicted some crazy stuff like that. But that's just where we are right now. You got Mikal Bridges bowling out of his mind. I mean, the guy is just the level that he's playing at is just on a whole nother level. Like, he's got the New York Knicks propelled. I mean, seriously, this is the reason why I guess they gave up all the picks. I still think that's yet to be determined, but I do think this is the best shot for the Knicks to win the championship. Unless they don't see the Denver Nuggets, I think the Denver Nuggets could cause serious problems for the New York Knicks. I don't want to move too far ahead, but something tells me that the New York Knicks is going to win this series. I think that at the very least, we should win at least one game, in New York. They may. I still can't believe it. I mean, seriously, I think Knicks fans, we still don't believe that we're gonna win the series. Once we start going crazy, that's when all the doors shut. Boston come back and win 4-0. I just got to see more. I don't want to jump the gun, but nonetheless, the New York Knicks are up 2-0. The Boston Celtics are blowing leads. The Knicks are undefeated on the road in the playoffs. If the Knicks were to somehow happily beat the Boston Celtics, I like our chances lovely against the Indiana Pacers, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think that it's time for that Jalen Brunson versus Halliburton. This time for the Eastern Conference, this time for the right to go to the NBA Finals. I think all of these things are great if it was to come to pass. All jokes aside, I ain't even gonna play with you right now. The New York Knicks are on the verge of going to the NBA Finals. If the New York Knicks win this series, they are going to the NBA Finals. You could just book it. There's nothing even to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. It's nothing. The Boston Celtics are blowing leads. I can't believe this. Mikal Bridges was ice cold, icy. The man didn't do nothing, up into the fourth quarter, and came in and put on an incredible impact. I don't know what's going on in terms of what's happening on the floor. It must be some serious matchup, man. I'll be honest with you. The Celtics have a serious problem with Mikal Bridges, and it seems like the Celtics had the Knicks, dead to rights. But as you slowly seen the game, you seen, oh no, I mean, listen, do you see what's going on right here? This is the Knicks gonna fool around and come back and win this game. I couldn't believe that the Knicks did it. I'm just gonna be real with you. Let me give you some stat lines, because I want to go with Mikal Bridges, because he's the star again in this show. For the New York Knicks, the man put up 14 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, all in 43 minutes. All that is just great. You got Karl Anthony Towns tonight, 21 points on 17 rebounds. Josh Hart, 23 points. This is what you want to see from the New York Knicks. OG Anunoby tonight, they had him locked and keyed. OG balled out game one. But like I said, Bridges. And when you look at his stat line, 14, but all of that came in the fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen. This is why they did this. They brought him on. I was still kind of skeptical because they gave up a lot of draft capital. So I have eyes and antennas on this move, but they got to get a championship. This is a good opportunity. Can they beat the Boston Celtics? It can't be that hard. I mean, Miami did it. Other teams have defeated the Boston Celtics. The Knicks can very well get there. Let me tell you something right now. If Jalen Brunson wins a championship for the New York Knicks, he's going to go down as the greatest New York Knick of all time. Can we? I can't believe we're saying this. Out of all of the people who have graced the New York Knick jersey, that right now we are living in the times where Brunson can very well go down as the greatest New York Knick of all time if he wins this chip. I really think he can. I think once he get past the Celtics, everything opens up. But I do think the Denver Nuggets is a terrible matchup for the New York Knicks. It's terrible. Now Karl Anthony Towns did beat them, against Minnesota, but I just think it's a terrible matchup. If they was to face the Nuggets, I hope Oklahoma City somehow, because I like our chances possibly against OKC in the playoffs. Young team. We're gonna find out who comes out the West. But the Knicks, let's just get to the finals, goddamn it. Let's crawl before we walk. But I do think they need to seize this opportunity because we don't know how many times the Knicks are gonna be here where you have a finals path right in front of you. You are up 2-0 on the Boston Celtics. What happens when you go home? Now the Knicks is not even a good home team. The Knicks don't have a good home court advantage. I'm telling you, people come to the Garden, it's like a goddamn movie, it's a show. These people want to come to the Garden and just put up all these points, but lately the Knicks have been slowing that down. You got the defenders. This is why you got OG. This is why you let go of RJ Barrett. This is why you let go of, all of these other guys that we had, the Emmanuel Quickleys and, Hartenstein. It was for this, Now you traded Dante DiVincenzo. It was for this. People, that was a head scratcher, the DiVincenzo move. Now you got to go ahead and move on to the NBA championship. You have to get a title. This is a must-win NBA championship for the New York Knicks if they defeat the Boston Celtics. You cannot beat the Celtics and fall to the Indiana Pacers because it looks like right now they're on a collision course, and that's going to add to the rivalry. Last year, the New York Knicks were hurt. Everybody was broke down. OG couldn't do nothing. Hart got the Hart. I don't know what happened with Josh Hart. It was just an epic collapse by the New York Knicks. Everybody was falling to the wayside. This year, everybody's healthy, so I'm expecting some improved play, going into that series if that was to occur. Because I think Cleveland is about DOA as well. Thunder says, imagine the most expensive team getting sent home. We're gonna find out. The Knicks got to get to the finals, man. Tibbs was on the hot seat too. We got to stop acting like they was trying to throw Tibbs in the garbage. Tom Thibodeau they wasn't paying no homage to Tom Thibodeau. There was whatever with Tom Thibodeau. Thibodeau's been coaching his ass off. Point blank. He's got the Knicks where they want to be. Now they got to seize the opportunity. You keeping these games close. Jalen Brunson is the king of the fourth quarter, Mr. Clutch. I can't believe this, that the Knicks have Mr. Clutch, Mr. Fourth Quarter. They this is what they were retooling for. And a lot of people thought that the Knicks were so bad because they lost so many games, prior to, the NBA postseason. I think that was some smoke and mirrors, in the regular season. Now you see in the playoffs, things are changing. I'm telling you, the Knicks could fool around and win this series. They were building for the Boston Celtics. All of the moves that were made was to face the Boston Celtics. They thought they was going to face them last year, but they ran into the Indiana Pacers. Now you got them now. So this is what you built. This is why you had OG and Mikal. It was to guard who? It was to guard Tatum and Brown. They had it all mapped out. They got two versatile defenders who could pretty much guard maybe what you want to say 1 through 5 in today's NBA. They switch and everything, especially OG. OG is like they comparing him to all kind of people. OG and Anunoby. I'm just happy that the Knicks, got the right people now. Finally, the Knicks have been a laughing stock for years, and look what has happened. Change has come. To the New York Knicks. It's time to get to the finals, man. I hope the Knicks win the championship. I don't think it's going to be likely, especially, like I said, I'm scared of the Nuggets. I think that's just a terrible matchup for the Knicks if we face the Nuggets. Because what's going on with Jokic? That's my only thing. Can Towns do something with Jokic? That's my only concern. But nonetheless, man, the Knicks are just figuring out a way. They are undefeated on the road, and I can't believe they went to Boston and won 2 games. Now, I'm gonna be real with you. This game I was watching, I thought that the Knicks was just gonna like phone the game and like not take it seriously. They was gonna let the game go. But as I slowly kept watching and watching and watching, I seen fight out the New York Knicks. They was coming back into it. So we got to give them credit. Slim says might be some Kool-Aid in the fridge. Man, listen, the New York Knicks, man, could be very well be headed to the NBA Finals. That's what's really real about all of this. Look out for the Knicks. Look out, especially, and I'm telling you, Madison Square Garden is just going to be a movie. A movie. My only fear for the Knicks is because we don't have a real. This is my personal opinion. Like I can't believe like the Knicks really don't have a home court advantage. That especially in these kind of games because you got so many celebrities going to be there. Everybody going to be pulling up. Everybody that somebody's going to be front row in Madison Square Garden. The building is going to be just maxed out. We know this. The crowd is going to be raucous. It's like a Broadway play, coming to Madison Square Garden. For people that don't know the way the lighting, I mean, it's the best arena in the NBA, in my opinion. I know they just built, that arena up there, the Intuit Dome and this, that, and the third, but, it's not like Madison Square Garden, point blank period, so listen, man, the opposing team, to me, they have an advantage. I could see Jason Tatum going to New York and dropping 50 and putting on a show for the Madison Square Garden audience. I could see Brown going up there putting up 40. I could see Porzingis going up there turning back the clock. Could you imagine the Knicks up 2 games to zip? Can you imagine what Porzingis is about to go through rolling up in Madison Square Garden? He better hope he can play. I know he was dealing with this. Maybe he might fool around and say he's not available because the Garden is going to be all over Porzingis, and they got the ammunition. We up 2 games to zip. We could just talk whatever the hell we want at this point. At the very least, the Knicks will win 1. I don't think the Knicks are disciplined now. Maybe a few years ago, I would tell you they're going to fool around and drop both games. But as I'm watching them, we got to give credit. We got to pay the utmost homage. The New York Knicks, they are going to get 1 game, at least in the Garden. The Celtics, I'm not going to say that they're going to get swept. I'm not going to put it past them. I think that they at least get game 3 or 4. The Celtics, the game 3 for the Boston Celtics is a must win. That's a must win. So now it's up to New York for them to, ride that crowd. The crowd could either work with you or work against you. And the Knicks, they have the only crowd like that. So it's all about how the Knicks utilize them. Just keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully now in Madison Square Garden, you don't have to go be down 20 to start playing for real. Hopefully now in Madison Square Garden, the game is neck and neck. We still haven't seen that from the New York Knicks. They keep making these fourth quarter surges. How many times can they replicate that? But give credit to Tom Thibodeau, man. The Celtics, they're gonna be kicking themselves in this game. Jason Tatum tonight. He had 13 points. Brown with 20. White had 20. Holiday with 10. It just is what it is. They had a balanced attack. Porzingis 14 minutes, 8 points. He might be hurt. It's like seriously. We all knew it was going to be an uphill battle to win the title. They won it already. Let's hope the Celtics can be generous and let some of these games go. But at the very least, I'm not going to jump for joy just yet because I don't think that I'm not ready to celebrate. I know Knicks fans around the world, they're going crazy. I'm looking right now. Knicks fans don't know how to act. But we got a good team right now. Good defenders. We built for the postseason. That's why a lot of people should have never got caught up with the record against all of these top teams. The last time the Knicks faced the Cavaliers, even though they won't face Cleveland, I think Indiana's going to be a bit better fight because Indy and New York, they got that rivalry. The New York Knicks, man, they could take out Cleveland with Garland, with all of them. When a couple of years ago, I think they got swept. I think the Knicks rolled in there and swept them, or it was a gentleman's sweep. It was one or the other. But the Knicks, they manhandled the Cleveland Cavaliers. So there's a lot going on. A lot going on. Shout out to Chauncey T. He says, I'm still in shock mode. Yeah, man, you got to be. Anthony Jefferson says, to all those celebrities who from New York moved to California, rooted for the Lakers, now they want to come back to root for the New York Knicks. Well, yeah, you got to know the Knicks, especially if the Knicks make it to the finals. Knicks make it to the finals and people ain't going to know how to act. Which is going to happen. Knicks going to get to Knicks going to eventually maybe break through. There's no Michael Jordan, of this era, to me, especially out east. Tatum and these guys, yeah, they good, they're elite, but they can be beaten. Pause. We just point blank, they can be defeated out here. They're not bulletproof. Like I said, I remember Jimmy. I know they were scared to death of Jimmy. I'm telling you right now, if the Celtics miraculously was to win this series and was to somehow, if they would have faced off against the Golden State, I like the Knicks' chances against the Warriors. But you always got to think about Jimmy. Jimmy, to me, he just play a style. But I think the Knicks, we got the people for that, in my humble opinion. But we shall see. There's a lot going on. But I will say, is everybody's in shock, man, because nobody could believe this. As a Knicks fan, you trained to not, jump for joy, man. It's so many times where your heart has been crushed, where you just go all in. You shouldn't go all in as a Knicks fan. I mean, any real Knicks fan knows that. Real Knicks fans are pumping the brakes, right now. They're like, wait a minute, we need to see more. I don't think we're gonna be comfortable until maybe we up 3-0. And then maybe we're gonna be all right. But knowing the Knicks, they might take us on a ride. They're a clumsy team, but we gotta stop acting like they're not. What if the Knicks was the first team to blow a 0-3 lead? Or what if the Knicks were to somehow go up 3 games to 0 and the Celtics still push a game 7? This is the kind of shit that happens as a Knicks fan, So that's why, as a Knicks fan, you gotta chill. You don't want to go too crazy. We don't believe nothing. We acting like we down 0-2, because we wasn't supposed to be like it. Wasn't supposed to be like this. And this is an indictment on Missoula. This is not looking good. Right now, Thibodeau, little boy in him. I'm just keeping it 100. Right now, Thibodeau is little boy in Joe Mazzulla You know, I'm pointing it out right now. Dare I say, I didn't think I would have seen this coming. People thought that Tom Thibodeau was a joke. You understand? They thought he was this, he was that. They thought he would be fired. Oh, Thibodeau might as well kick his feet up. He might as well sign a new lease because he ain't going nowhere. He will be back next year and the year after that. I think there's something going on with Tom Thibodeau and Jalen Brunson, where some kind of camaraderie, some continuity, is gonna, brew from all of that. I think they're gonna be together for a while, especially if they win it. And if they were to somehow break it through to the finals, like they named Brunson the captain, And look what he brought in all his Villanova teammates. I was happy for it because who the hell else the Knicks was bringing in? Bring all the Villanova teammates in. I mean, it changed the culture, and that's what Jalen Brunson has done. People thought he wasn't even worth the contract. When he signed that big deal in New York, and it really wasn't as big as it should have been, pause, but it is what it is. The contract, and Brunson left money on the table when he just re-up. This is the kind of leader he is. He left money on the table to try to make something else happen. So this is the kind of player that he is. He does some Tim Duncan shit, where you leave money on the table. You don't take he's in his prime. He should be trying to go for every dollar, every cent. Don't leave shit on the table. But Jalen Brunson, is the truth and a half, man. Can't nobody do nothing about Jalen Brunson right now, man. You can't check him. The man is just completely unstoppable. And he's giving Drew Holiday the business. Drew Holiday is having a very hard time, with Mikal Bridges. Somebody need to find this man some serious help because he ain't gonna make it. I'm telling you right now, they gotta get Mikal Bridges some assistance out there. If Mikal Bridges, pardon me, they not Mikal Bridges, they gotta go get, what I will say is this. I want to talk about Karl Anthony Towns for a second because I think he's the elephant in the room here. I think he is the biggest question mark. If this guy Karl Anthony Towns still want to play like a guard, this guy is 7 foot tall, man. They should be dominating the paint. If you putting out Mitchell Robinson and you got Cat, I know Cat like to shoot. But damn it, why you don't go inside out, Paul? Like seriously, you shoot. What is going on? Fadeaways. I mean, he could be at the rim, and instead of going, strong, this guy's turning around, fading away. This is coming from a 7-footer. I don't give a damn if you know how to shoot threes. It's time to play bully basketball. Some games, some series, you have to do that. You look at Jokic. Jokic, he shoot a lot of threes, but he do know how to go down to the paint and play like a big man too. He does know how to do that. So, and he will do it. So right now, you got Oklahoma City. This is what I thought was going to happen to the New York Knicks. Oklahoma, they're killing the Denver Nuggets right now. Denver, they snuck one, so they happy. They got the split. They did their job. Now it's up to Oklahoma City to see what they can do when they go to Denver. And going up to Denver ain't gonna be nothing easy. Just like going to New York shouldn't be easy. So let's see what the Knicks do. At home, where they haven't really been the best. They're much better on the road. But only time gonna tell. The Knicks got a lot of decisions to make. They got to because they got to figure out what the hell they got to do to defeat the Boston Celtics. I think this would be very devastating if they were to lose this series. I think Would you fire Thibodeau then? I mean, seriously, shout out to Fresh Prince of Belize. It's orange and blue skies. I mean, I can't believe what I've seen, from the New York Knicks this whole postseason. I can't believe that the Knicks have the best fourth quarter player, in the NBA. I just can't believe that. It seemed like all of the cards are in the Knicks' favor. I can't believe this. That I'm in a time where the Knicks have the clear pathway to the finals. I'm not going to look past Indiana because Indiana beat us last year, but I do know we was hurt. So now it's going to be even crazier because it's like, okay, we all healthy now. So what's up? Like, I mean, we're gonna find out. Brunson versus Halliburton. Like Halliburton, he ready. And if you Sacramento, you got to be feeling crazy. Just to pivot one time because it seemed like the Knicks and Pacers are on a collision course. Just looking at the Pacers and Halliburton, if you got to be crazy. Fresh Prince says, I say fire Tibbs after game 5 versus the Pistons, but I said that Tom Thibodeau isn't going anywhere. Tommy T will be around for a very long time. At least he'd have locked up about 2 more years, especially if he was to beat them. If he mess around and make it to the finals, he might be all right. He might be okay for a little couple more years, maybe 4, 3 to 4 or something if you get to the finals, especially if they're competitive, which I do think they will be. You got Brunson there. He's looking to compete every year. You didn't make these moves. You got OG. You got Mikal. I'm hearing that they're going to go get Dante DiVincenzo back. That's another sneaky move that people not talking about. Minnesota, they begging and pleading to try to keep him, but he want to get back down there with his Villanova teammates. I love what Jalen Brunson has brought to the New York Knicks. This is what it's all about. Thunder says if Knicks win this series, then New York City will basically be Gotham City. I mean we're gonna find out. What I will say, like I said, this is a must win. You can't blow this series. Under any circumstances, can you lose the series? If he loses the series, I say fire him and hire Michael Malone. Yeah, like I said, if Tibbs loses the series, I think that's devastating because the series is locked up. You have it. You can't blow it. That's just gonna be detrimental right now because it's gonna look like we could have had somebody else in place to get us over the hump. He was right there. But like the Knicks, Madison Square Garden, man, that building. There's something about that building where the other team just catch life. Slinker Hoop says not to take away from the Knicks win, but if the Celtics lose, they will split up Tatum. No, not yet. They just won a championship. They often they off that championship drunkenness. No, not yet. They got about another 2-3 more to go. If they start failing, I think this year they regress. They just won the chip last year. They punt this season. They didn't really take it seriously. And then, they come back next year like the Boston Celtics. Maybe they make a move here or there, but they're more serious. Because as you can see, they had the game 1 against the Knicks. The Knicks had no business coming back from 20, down. That just doesn't happen. I'm from an era where it was 21 blowout, and that's just how it was. Fresh Prince, what's the deal? I know you've seen this game. What's your
And
thoughts,
I
man? The
get
New York Knicks,
lovely game.
man, cooked up.
Nah, Knicks cooked up for sure. Like, and the crazy thing is like I seen them literally walk them down the whole fourth quarter, bro. And that was crazy.
Right.
Like, and they wouldn't stop shooting threes. They just kept shooting threes, missing them. Like, and then Celtics want to say like Celtic fans will say like, oh, they just missed threes. But in my opinion, from what I saw good defense, bro.
Yeah. Yo, man, what I want to tell you is this, man. Don't it look like the Knicks going to the finals? I
Nah,
don't want. I don't. I don't want to go too
It
crazy,
looks
but it
like
looked like it.
it look like we just getting our get back, bro. As you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't even be not to it's hot right now, blue and orange skies all the way, but I wouldn't be disappointed if we was to like go all the way and lose it in the finals to the West.
You know what I will say is they're not going to beat the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets is a terrible matchup. Right now Gordon is hot. They right now the Nuggets they getting hot at the right time. So the Knicks, man,
But
I mean,
but
I
if you
think the
want,
Nuggets going. I mean, even though they losing tonight, I think the Nuggets when they go home, they're a veteran team. Jokic, they're gonna hold it down.
but you know what else I wouldn't, you know what I would love to see honestly.
What's that?
Let us go for it, bro. Let them battle it out. Timberwolves versus the Knicks in the finals. I wouldn't be mad at it.
I like the Warriors. I like the Warriors
I
in
like
that
the Warriors
series.
too, though. I like the Warriors too. But I'm just saying, like, if we get a Timberwolves versus the Knicks, can you imagine that? Like Randall versus Cat, Thibodeau, or like the
It's a
DiVincenzo.
long shot.
That would be too much sauce.
It's a long shot. I don't see it happening right now.
But now
Minnesota,
I don't think something like
I
that will
don't think
happen.
Minnesota got the pieces.
I do think the Warriors got a good chance to make a run and go at it. I wouldn't even be mad. I mean, right now, Knicks in the finals would be lovely because Madison Square Garden for the finals would be amazing. So I wouldn't be mad like if it's the Warriors, you
Uh,
know, in Madison Square Garden. That would be nice.
yeah, I agree with you, man. What surprised you at the Knicks, man? Because I mean, I know you didn't believe that they would actually be up 2 games the zip. What,
To
what
be
you
real
got?
with you, bro, I honestly did. I thought they could have done it, but you know
Hmm.
what surprises me more? What surprised me is
What?
that the fact that they was down 20 and came
Yeah,
back twice.
twice. I
That
could have
that that to
sworn
me is
this
more
was
like
a wash.
I wouldn't say like I wouldn't say like oh I was surprised because deep down, bro, I believe the Knicks could beat the Celtics in four. But I've been saying that though. Like and I believe the thing is with the Knicks is like if they play right and they play today, they could beat any team, bro. They could beat any team. Whether it's a close game by a blowout, whatever, like they could just win the game. Like they have that type of pedigree where they know what it takes to win. Like you know what I mean? For whatever reason, like they just start taking certain possessions more serious. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it could be any. I felt like they could have won it, but that 20 being down 20 twice coming back is crazy. I didn't see that.
Yeah, man, I think that's just spectacular for the Knicks. You brought up in the chat about Thibodeau. You said something about you had him out in the last series, but right now it's looking like he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
What do
but
you
I
see
still
about
feel like,
Thibodeau?
and I feel like it's also it's a blessing and a curse too because now
Mm.
he has to win because like how do you go up two against the Celtics and then end up losing in what six or in seven?
Oh, listen, if they go up 3-0 and they even if they push it to 7, if they man, if they
That's what
listen,
I'm
if they
saying.
become the if they break the record of the first team ever, man, he got everybody got to go.
Like you know what
Shit.
I'm saying? Like
Leon Rose
Thibodeau
too.
would have to go. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like the only and then it's like right, all right, you get past the Celtics, right? And then you lose to Indiana. You gotta
Mm.
go again because it's like, yo, bro, what do you mean? This is supposed to
You
be a
can't lose
team
to
you're supposed to
Indiana.
beat.
Word. Last year
You can't
we
lose
was
to
hurt.
Indiana.
We was hurt last year. Now we fully 100% healthy.
And
We
now
have to
you're
beat
healthy
Indiana.
and y'all lose to them.
We got to destroy
So you
Indiana,
gotta
not
go.
just beat them. We got to go in there and just
That's what I'm saying.
manhandle them, like shut them dudes down, all
So
of them. Matherin,
right,
I hate
so
them dudes, all of them. Go ahead.
the only way I see in my mind Tibbs get a pass is if you go to the finals and lose. Because then in that
No,
case the argument would
yeah.
be like then the argument would be I he got him there to the finals, he
Yeah.
lost. We
They
at
say
least
go
gotta
to the
run it back.
finals never.
Yeah, you at least got to run it back with them. I mean, don't do that. We went to the finals in 2000.
I know, but it feel like it's been
99, 99. I'm sorry, 99.
yeah. I know we've been to the. It's been we did actually. Yeah, we did with you. But it feel like it's been
It
forever.
was the AC too. Yeah,
It
we
feel
did it
like
with
it's
the
been
AC. You know what
forever.
I'm saying? Nah, it's been long. It's been long. Pause. 26 years. You
Right.
know?
That's crazy. So,
But yeah, I do think it could be something along those lines. But I don't think yeah, if he don't make the finals, bro, Tibbs gotta go, bro. I mean, and it's just because they just probably need a new air, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, um, I mean, Cat had him for his first 9 years. They got rid of him, and now he's back with him again. And it's like, all right, cool. But Cat to me he ain't change up anything. He ain't really developed. But can you imagine Moses Malone? I mean, I said Moses Malone, Michael Malone from Denver, coaching him and Brunson. Like that's like another Jokic and Jamal Murray, bro. Putting them together, and he's in New York in a big market. I think that would go well for Michael Malone, and he's a proven champion.
yeah, you're right about that. Proven, that's key. We're gonna find out what happens if that was
And
to
more in
happen.
the recent times too, and he done
You're
it
on the
more in the
collision
recent
course.
times,
If he win
huh?
one, if he win one before Luca, it's just dirty. It's already looking
Cool.
bad already because Dallas traded him.
Yeah.
So, like I
Yeah.
said, Carlisle looking like he knew a little something. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Brunson.
key. This series against the Knicks ain't gonna be easy. I think the Celtics is in trouble. I think right now it's safe to say it's looking more like the Miami Celtics when the Miami faced them, opposed to last year. I don't like.
And you
Um,
see, I'll say this, right? And
yeah,
I'll go on a limb and say, right, for Knicks, we could win this in six in a realistic.
yeah,
All right, four sounds great, but for me, I could see us losing game three, us winning game five, us losing game five. I mean, us winning game four, and us losing game five to us winning game six. In the ideal world, because I'm not
right,
going to just lay down on the champs like that. Like they're not just capable of pulling it together. I do see them getting a good win, like a good win on us, right? But that dogfight, I believe a good win in the Garden. I could see that happen. I could see them breaking our hearts, like in the Garden. I could see that happening, just like we did. But I don't see them taking both in the Garden though. That I don't
no,
see.
yeah, no, me neither. We getting one.
Yeah,
At,
I don't
at the
see them
very
taking
least, we're
both in
going
the
up three
Garden.
one,
Like you know
and
what I
the
mean? I could see us going back to TD Garden 3-1. Yeah, easily.
Celtics are gonna must win next game. Must
Yeah,
win.
they gotta win
That
because if
yeah, the
they
Garden gonna be going. Oh my God, I know you got tickets.
nah, bro, I was thinking to cash out
I
on
know
game
them tickets
four,
is
bro.
high.
Game four was looking
I'm,
like
I'm
it,
about to, I'm
bro.
about to look
And
at I'm about to look at the price of them tickets.
nah, you don't even want to do it to
I
yourself,
know
bro.
they
You
through the
talking
roof.
like
Hold on, I got
section,
StubHub. I got
section
StubHub right here.
like 500, like section 400 or whatever. They want like
Oh,
600.
oh man, yeah, the Garden is crazy. Yeah, they dirty. I ain't gonna
They,
lie. In other cities, you can get in the building for like $20.
yo,
But
bro, I
even though I
seen.
wouldn't want to be in the nosebleeds, but you ain't getting shit for $20 in New York. Well, God.
But remember, like they had like when they did Detroit series, it was tickets like the same ticket for like basically nosebleeds in the
Oh
Garden
my
for like
God.
450,
That shit
right?
starting at 735.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The nosebleed seats. The
Nosebleeds,
cheapest seat in the Garden is
nosebleeds,
in the
nosebleeds.
seven something.
Yeah,
That's not what I don't know. To be way up there.
yeah. And you know what's crazy? The crazy thing is like respectfully, no shade to Indiana or the Cleveland. If they was to make against the Knicks, you fly out there, you get a cheaper ticket to the game.
Yeah.
Than you would to get to the Garden. You know what I'm saying? So like you could spend $800 and for tickets to go. in Indiana versus the Knicks or Cleveland versus the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? And get good seats to get a plane ticket and maybe a hotel, all for that price.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. It is cheap, and well, hold on, wait a minute. It is cheap in Boston.
You know.
The tickets is a lot cheaper in Boston.
Respectfully, man, I'm gonna have to shout out my boy AB the Hero if they make it to Indiana. Though I'm just saying.
So yeah, yeah, that would be crazy. Mixed paces. We definitely gonna have to touch bases with AB. Um, but listen, Knicks they gonna beat the Pacers in my opinion. I think they're gonna be, especially in Cleveland too. The Knicks and the Pacers are in the same situation. And this is gonna be talked about during the weeks. Like I said, I want to repeat, they're on the collision course. They are just, and they have problems already from last year that these two teams do not like each other. Brunson, Halliburton, they've had like I said, they've even done some stuff on WWE. I don't know if you remember, Belize.
Yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah, yeah.
and Halliburton they did a little
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. I remember
thing
that.
in WWE. And it was like, yeah, just acting their beef. So it let me know that they do have they all kind of cool in some way, for them to do that. To basically act on that they have these issues. But it's just competitive nature. I don't think they really have any serious bad blood with one another.
But remember, those were the top two guards from the East, respectfully, this season, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think shit. I think point blank
It
right
was them
now. I
two, right?
mean,
And I
yeah.
was the one that was upset about it because I thought it should have been Lamelo, respectfully.
Yeah,
You
hey
know,
man, listen.
and
Like
then
I said, we
not
got
to bring that all up, but that's my thing that I have against Tyler Halliburton, respectfully. That he came in Lamelo class, so I always him and Ant Man for me, like they both like I appreciate them, but I just always feel and Garland too. I always feel like all three of them as guards, their team, their organization, they made those teams better for those players. But my man Lamelo never got that shake. And those three players are all exceeding in their careers so young. But Lamelo, like you know what I mean? And that's my only thing that with all three of those guys, honestly speaking.
no, I agree with you. You
I'd be
know,
like, damn, bro. I would love to see that, like, Lamelo had a fighting chance to go and see what he would look like against those guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? And in this right here. But yeah, he's outselling them on shoes, jersey sales, fan votes, all of that. But when it comes to the winning and all, like, you know what I mean, bro? As a fan, it's like, damn, Charlotte, do right by him or trade him, bro. Like, just get rid of him, put him in a winning organization. And I've never been the one to want to play to get traded, but it's like put him in a situation that could benefit him, and then y'all keep doing whatever y'all got going on over there, bro. Because y'all ain't trying to win, bro.
yeah. We're gonna find out, man. Like I said, I like obviously Melo. That's our guy. Um, but Brunson, I mean, we talk about pound for pound. Obviously Lamelo. If you just want to go from a pure talent perspective, there's a lot of players. But Brunson is just, seem
No,
like he's
Brunson a different breed. Brunson a
just a
different
winner.
breed.
You know what I mean? In my opinion, he just wins everywhere he goes. It seems like, and he's got the team. I mean, this team that's surrounding Brunson. Brunson is not even a good defender. We talk a lot, the media and the Hornets. The Charles Lee, these guys pulling Melo out of games due to defensive reasons and shit like that. You see Brunson, they built a squad around him.
Yeah,
They're
so he
not
don't gotta
talking
come
about,
out.
they're not talking
Yeah,
about Brunson. Hey, what's going on defensively? You can't do nothing. Well, you know what? Let's sit you. Let me pull you and bring in Deuce McBride. You know, uh, because he can defend. They put a team of defenders around him. And
so they can
they
hide him.
Hornets don't
And
do
now
that.
he's stepping up and playing on Tatum. I seen them matchups with Tatum was nice.
Yeah, because right now Brunson they got defenders everywhere. He could just kind of either hide or
Yeah,
pick where
he could do the Luka effect.
he got help. he got help back there, so it's not like if he pass him, nobody. He just usually he would. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, Tatum did go all the way to the rim and dunked it. I thought the game
But
was
that was
over.
towards the end. But you
Yeah,
see, you know,
I
you
was
know,
I was
but you
mad about
see, hold on, flight. Let me pause you right there, cause that moment right there, right? I
that.
said,
Yeah,
and I was sitting there watching it, right? And I was like, yo, and that right there is why he's a bum, bro. That's the reason why he's a bum, bro. Because you know why? Because he showed you that he could do that at any given point, but yet he still settles for them bum ass shots, and he's missing. You live like that's why when I was watching the game, bro, I was like, yo, if the Knicks really don't win this game, bro, they really don't deserve to win, like at all. Like they don't deserve to be there if they don't win this game tonight because, bro, they was just shooting up bad shots. And like I said, I credit the defense because I see how the switches is going. I seen all of that. Like, and I'm a guy who paid attention to details, so I seen all that. But if you're not making the shot, bro, at least drive, bro. Start driving, bro. Even Porzingis couldn't even do nothing. They tried to say in the first game, oh, Porzingis left because he had diarrhea. All this dumb shit. They were trying to give us excuses for that win. What do you say now? What do you say now? The same thing. Down 20, came back, walked you down. What do you say now?
nothing.
They shot 40 shots this time and missed 30. Like, what do you say now, bro? They're bums, bro. They're bums. Pack them up.
It's definitely not a good look. But I think they high off that chip. They won the chip just like the Nuggets. They won the chip.
Not even that. Yeah, but yeah,
And,
it's partially that. And then you know what else it is too, bro? They wore out, bro. They wore out. Remember, you know what I mean? Like 3-day players went to the Olympics, right? Porzingis was doing whatever he was doing. Like it was a lot going on with them. Al Horford is old as shit now. You know what I mean? Like it's about time, bro. It's over. And you think, come on, bro. You think Cat gonna let Al Horford outdo him? They both from DR, bro. Like Cat looked up to him growing up, bro. Like he not about to let old man Al get him. Nah, bro. Cat better not let that happen.
I agree with you.
Their time is up though. And then they got so much going on right now too. Because remember, they thinking about breaking up that team and all that because the salary cap. You know what I mean? There's under new ownership. The Boston man, they got too much off the court shit. Like they about to break that whole team. They just need a reason. They don't need them to win again because then it's gonna be hard for them to break it up. They lose now. You could trade Jaylen Brown possibly to a team like Atlanta. You know, pair him up with Trey Young or some shit. You know what I mean? Let them try to do something over there. But or you trade them somewhere. Like I won't say trade them out west. To be honest, let the West get more stacks so the East could be solid for my Knicks. You know, like how they did for LeBron when he was in Miami.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. They're gonna find out. I'm looking at Stephen A. Smith. He going crazy.
I could imagine. I was waiting for his ass. I was waiting for him. I'm like, I know he gonna talk his shit. But I'm really ready for Big Perk though, because Big Perk called it.
He turned up, ain't he?
Nah, yeah, you know what it is too. He a fake one though. I don't really like him too much when he comes to the Knicks, bro. Cause he don't really believe in us, but he be ready to jump on the bandwagon when we ready. You know
Mm.
who I like?
Who?
I'm gonna give a little quick shout out to the Gilbert Arenas show.
Yeah.
The nigga Rashard
Oh
McCants,
yeah,
bro.
McCants is the truth.
Yeah, bro, he be heavy with the
Underrated.
Knicks too, and I like that. Like I like that. He said it from early in the season, like, "Oh, that's the Knicks season. They got it this year, all that." And I agree. I agree because I see it. I see the same thing they see, bro. Like we do got a good starting five. We got Mitchell Robinson back. Like you know what I'm saying. We there, bro. And remember, at the end of the day, Bridges and Payne, they went to the finals together, bro. So they got that little chemistry too. The finals of being at the dance, wanting to get back.
Yeah, they've been there before.
Yep. And then you also got, the main three who won in Villanova. So they've been there before. So certain plays, bro, it's basketball at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. This is basketball at the end of the day. Yeah, shit is crazy out here, man. Knicks, man, they're gonna be just fine, man. In my humble opinion, man. I think if we win, I think we're gonna be going to the finals. I like our chances against Indy.
Yo,
You know,
so right now, do you think that that trade was worth it for Bridges?
they got to win the championship for it to be worth it.
You think that? Nah, you think it's that much? I don't think
It
so.
depends. We got to see what these picks turn out to be. What if they turn
He
out to
ain't
be
gonna be
future Hall
nothing.
of Famers? We
He
don't
not gonna
know.
be nothing, gang. Like he not gonna be nothing, bro.
We don't know. We never
Like,
know. I hope not.
but even if they are, bro, like what we got right now is this winning right now, bro. Like, we you gonna just hold on into it till the year come to get that player or whatever? Nah, we need to win it right now. So I
Listen,
think
they had
it's
to do what they had to do. I mean, not Bridges. I mean, Brunson. Brunson wanted him. Brunson is the captain of the New
exactly.
York Knicks.
And Brunson took a pay cut for it. Like
He
all
took
those
a
little
big
things, like you know what I mean. You
he
got, and then the team is lovely because
and
now,
He proven he's a go-to guy for us.
and not only that, like you think of it like in the sense of like you it's less load on OG, it's less load on Josh Hart, like you know what I mean, and then it
No,
just gives you a little more power because McBride is only in his second season, bro.
mhm,
Like you know what I'm saying. So you just you know you got a good core to build around for the next 4 or 5 years, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, as we talk about Bridges, especially as through the years, we through the Stoudemire era and this, that, and the third. Um, it's crazy to see um, how the Knicks were injury riddled, and then now, we talked about what a trade was the trade worth it for Bridges. Bridges don't miss games. He's an Iron Man. So all of that is working in the Knicks' favor. You have a guy that's going to be available for you. You don't have to question, is he going to be playing? What is you don't have to do that. You have your guy there at your disposal. He's going to play hard. The guy, even at the end of the regular season, he went out there and played for like a quick second just to, you know, get himself situated so he don't miss nothing. So this is the kind of person and player that we're dealing with here, in Mikal. The man definitely deserves credit and respect, point blank. So, y'all let me know your thoughts, man. Talk to me about Mikal, man. Did y'all see this coming? Mikal Bridges is the truth, man. The guy, I think he was an all-star. I mean, he balled out. He was the go-to guy in Brooklyn. He was a number one option. So we gotta step back and and some of this stuff is surprising. Now he's coming to New York where he's more in a role, but I don't think it's something that he can't, make happen. Just be patient, with the New York Knicks, and don't prematurely celebrate. That's what I'm trying not to do. I wanna just be happy for him. I want to say, yeah, we did it, da, 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 but I do know we need to calm down, and that's what I'm doing as a responsible Knick fan. Pumping the goddamn brakes. And us as Knicks fans, we don't do that enough. We don't pump the brakes. That we have to do that, y'all. But nonetheless, man, New York Knicks, we did it. We did it. Shout out to the Knicks, man. Mikal Bridges, man, the star again of this game. He's got help. This is why you traded for these people. You traded for him so Bridges doesn't, not Bridges, Brunson doesn't have to do everything. Brunson don't have to do it all. He got guys that's gonna help him. But once again, the Boston Celtics let a 20-point lead just slip. That's silly. That's just That's not a good look, for a so-called veteran basketball team. It's not. It wasn't supposed to happen like that. But yeah, this was a big time win, y'all. You gotta be shot. You have to. You gotta be shocked at this. Shout out to all my Knicks fans all around the world. You already know what it is. New York Knicks. Knicks headed to the finals. I'm telling you. I know this sound like a joke. A lot of things happening for New York. It's gonna be a big year for New York City. In my opinion, I really do. Football about to roll around. We don't know what's about to happen now. But New York just been on top. So that's what it is. So y'all let me know, what do y'all think? Can the Knicks actually make it to the NBA Finals? Is that a situation plausible, or is it just an uphill battle? That's what I want to know. I want to know, what do y'all think about that? But I'm just excited for the Knicks, man. This is what it's all about. I know all the celebrities gonna be out there at the Garden. I can't wait to see Spike Lee and everybody that's gonna pull up. It's gonna be a movie. At the Garden. Celtics in trouble, but who knows? I think they may go up there. They may use the Garden as fuel. Sometimes when you're on the road, you adopt like a you versus me mentality, and like I said, the defending champs could very well exercise that right. So just be on the lookout for them. The Celtics are still dangerous. They down 0-2. We talking about a team that could very well come back and win all 4 games in a row. So we what happens? All they got to do is win game 3, and now they put all the pressure back on the Knicks, because the Knicks know damn well you can't drop both games at home. Both teams are in a must-win game 3. The Knicks are in the must-win, and the Celtics are in the must-win. Game 3 is going to be a movie. It's going to be a movie. You don't want to miss game 3. I'm telling you, game 3 is going to be crazy. Game 3 is going to be Saturday, too. 3:30. Unbelievable matchup. That's going to be a crazy game. Tomorrow, you only got 1 game. Warriors, Wolves. Both teams are in the postseason still. If you're looking at Edwards and you're looking at Cat, both guys got to be looking at one another identical. Like, they don't want you to pass me. I don't want I don't want to pass you, kind of stuff. So we're gonna find out, how this all works. We will see. But the NBA playoffs, man, is just in full swing. I just got to point it out how I see it. It's been very exciting, this postseason. It's like, it seemed like every game is, especially the second round. I knew the second round was gonna be crazy, but I didn't know we was gonna have so many wire to wires, game winners, late steals, late blocks. It's just all kind of shit is just going on. Teams are winning in different ways. The Knicks, they showing they've been around for a while too. Knicks don't get enough props for that. I know some of them are new, yeah, that we got some, but a lot of these guys been together for more than a year or two. So all of these things are good. If you are a Knicks fan. You know, this is what you want to see. You know, you want to see wins. You want to see dubs out the New York Knicks. And we're going to see it, y'all. So just everybody just be patient. Knicks going to fool around and win the chip. Shout out my man Basil Carpenter Jr. So salute Flight Sports TV. You already know what it is. You know, it's big business, you know, going on with New York City right now. They very well going to win the championship if they make it out this series. And there ain't going to be a damn thing anybody going to be able to do about it when it happens. You know, so just be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. There's too much going on. Way too much. Yeah, man. You know, the New York Knicks, man, they defeat the Boston Celtics. They come back from 20 down twice to take a commanding 2-zip lead, headed back to New York City, in Madison Square Garden, where that crowd was just going to be just raucous. They better be on the lookout, because all hell could very well break loose. Listen, we're going to be back tomorrow. It's Flight Sports. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Peace and love. Make sure you hit the like button, man. I want to thank everybody who pulled up. Support our lives, support our content. We will be back with you. We're going to be providing more content for you. It's Flight Sports TV. You already know what it is. We're going to be picking up a lot bit more. You may be seeing us a little bit more. You already know what it is. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.